program. And Jamal Haddad, if I can start with you there in Beirut and mention, I mean, your magazine Jasad is very popular, growing in popularity all the time, but considered highly controversial because the topics you cover are very graphic and many of them are taboo in Middle Eastern culture. So what exactly is your mission? What are you trying to achieve with the magazine?
Well, hi. I wouldn't use the word mission because it would seem as if we were fighting for a cause in Jasad. But what we would like to think is that Body magazine or Jasad magazine is going to contribute in a healthy way in the discussion of all the taboo subjects in our contemporary culture. It's a cultural magazine. It deals with art, literature, even science that deals with the body. But it's not only the erotic dimension of the body, because when we say body, especially in the Arab world, we only think about sex, while sex is, even though it is an important representation and an important activity of the body, it's not the only one. So we like to think of Jasad as also dealing with the linguistical, with the philosophical, with the social dimensions of the body.
What do you think are the risks of not raising these topics in this modern world? What is going to be the biggest risk of not really discussing these issues?
Well, I think, I mean, personally, if I want to speak about myself, because I'm often asked, why did you do this? Why did you do this magazine? Although everybody was telling me around, you're crazy, how could you do that? It's not the place nor the time. I'm convinced that we invent the right moment. And I think that I personally feel frustrated and insulted in a culture where 1,000 years ago, talking about these subjects was more than natural. If you look at our cultural heritage in the Arabic language, you would find texts that I'm sure would make even the most liberal and obscene Western writer blush. And now everything has become a taboo. We talk about the body as if we need to be ashamed of it, or as if we have to hide it. So it's basically the risk of going more into that direction and treating our bodies, which are a very important element of our daily lives, of how we behave, of how we live, treating them as something that is secondary in our world.
Okay, Dr. Heba Qutb, good to have you with us there from Cairo, and I know you discuss many of these kinds of issues from time to time on your show as well. You take a very measured approach, of course, in your responses to respect the boundaries of Islam, but I want to ask you, what do you consider is too far? At what point does the debate and coverage of these sexual issues become counterproductive?
I need to say that there is a very big difference between, you know, keeping everything just revealed in a non-decent way and saying the same thing in a very decent, conservative and respectful way within the boundaries of all religions. It's not just the Islam, because I belong there, but I mean within the boundaries of all divine religions and within the boundaries of Allah's orders, and even to avoid the prohibitions of Allah as well in His divine books, such as the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran. Other thing about the magazine Al Jasad, actually speaking, I never had a hard copy of Al Jasad, but I got into the website of the magazine, and I saw several issues, and well, not okay whatsoever with the pictures on the website and the pictures on the covers of the magazine, and this is really it's totally you know, against the rules, against the beliefs, against the social backgrounds of ourselves as Arabs and conservative people in the Middle East. And it's not adding to the science or to the right information, to the sex, let's say sexual culture we want we want to add to our cultures.
Well, now, Dr. Khatib,
The pictures are different. I
yeah,
mean,
you know-
presenting the thing in pictures is so different, you know.
Sorry, Dr. Khatib, I was going to say, you know, one of the things is that the world is very interconnected through the internet. It's globally connected, and young people in the Middle East can get information outside their own countries. So how can you strike a balance? How can the Middle East be seen to be moving forward and tackling some of these very sensitive issues, and yet respect what the culture demands? Where is the balance?
I wanted to add a point right here. It's that what's our goal? What's our target? What point we want to reach? What's our mission there? Let me use the word you used at the beginning of your introduction. But our mission is to make this youth feeling or talking about sex or having sex as a very nice thing, as it should be, and also within the frame of what should be and what shouldn't be, or what could be there and what couldn't be there, within the haram and the halal issue, let's say. But what's the difference between any magazine like Al Jasad and other pornography or other porn magazine? Even if there are some articles talking about the philosophy and the humanity and everything, but you can just open the homepage of this magazine and you can say the very frank images or pictures of sex organs, and this is of course very turning on for the youth, and it's not adding to their sexual culture. It's not for example, teaching them something to be beneficial in their future marital life. I think, on the contrary, it's just exciting for them and turning them on.
Okay, Jumana Haddad, what are the limits basically? What do you know? Where at what point should you say enough is enough?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a person who believes firmly in the freedom of expression. With all due respect to the people who believe in haram and halal, who believe in the words should and shouldn't, I believe that I, as an adult, and many other people like me in the Arab world, are insulted when we are treated like minors. I would like to add that regarding the pictures that Dr. Hiba Qutb was talking about, unfortunately, it's always sad to not to know that people can recognize art material from pornographic material. I mean, I suppose that knowing the difference between a Mapplethorpe picture or a Woodman picture or a picture from Playboy requires a certain amount of knowledge and culture in the field. So I do understand her reaction, but all of these pictures on the website are pictures of paintings and photographs and sculptures by famous artists, whether Arabs or international. I would also like to say that, I mean, if the material that is on the website, I mean, I don't like to defend Jasad because it's not guilty of something in order to defend it, but the material on the website is very, I mean, it's I would say less than 5% of the 200 pages magazine. So I don't think that a magazine could be called pornographic based on what's seen on a website.
Okay.
And it's weird to talk about that in a world where YouPorn is just a click away.
Let me ask Dr. Khatib here. You know, there was the Lebanese